Welcome back to the channel. My name is Garber, and I'm finally doing an in the bag video. This is the day after the Supreme Flight Open, where I just finished in a tie for 15th place, and had some time. Thought we should go out to a little field and get the in the bag video filmed. Finally, and it's feeling pretty set. One of the reasons I didn't want to do it earlier in the year is just because it never really felt like I liked every disc in my bag, or that I loved every disc in my bag. I would say now every disc has a purpose, and I'm throwing every disc in my bag right now on pretty much any course that I play. There's a couple that maybe don't come out every time, but it's pretty set right now. So let's just get into it. Firstly, I use a pound bag. This was given to me by Paige Tato probably a year and a half ago by now, 2 years ago. It was actually stolen from him and graffitied on, and then he had like a professional graffiti artist go over the bad stuff and kind of make it look a little bit better, and then I tried to clean it off and wasn't even thinking the soap and the water and everything kind of smudged the Sharpie, but I think it still looks pretty good. I ended up drawing on the sides as well. See if I can turn this a little bit. Drew some mountains right there, little rose, some other stuff up top. Other side of the bag, I got Wild Rose Athletics logo. That's one of my sponsors. That's my retail sponsor, or not my retail sponsor, sorry. That's my apparel sponsor, which actually, a little segment into these. These are Wild Rose Athletics sunglasses. These are my signature sunglasses. Wonder Bread styled and colored. I like these. Always keep in my bag, my right side pocket or left side, depending on how you're looking at it. Pull these out occasionally when it gets real bright, sunny. I'm not somebody really wears sunglasses on the course a ton, but they break out every now and then, and I like them. I like the way they look, the way they feel. So if you want to get these, go to Wild Rose Athletics. But other drawings, that's Paige's logo right there. Just thought I should put that on the bag he gave me. Yeah, I love this bag. I think it's very unique color, and I love how I was able to draw on it and kind of the story behind it too. Just makes it feel unique, special to me, and yeah, I love having it on the course. What else we got in here? Right next to my glasses, my trusty rangefinder, which I need, especially out on the tour courses. Maybe not at a local course, 9-hole course or during doubles leagues, but with these like 10, 11, 12,000 foot long courses, I need this in the fairway, just to make sure I know if I'm throwing a putter or a mid-range or a driver. It's just nice to know. A 10 feet difference could mean the difference between a birdie and a bogey. It's possible. This pocket is kind of where all my stuff goes. I got my phone and my AirPods in here, my wallet usually on this side, of keys and just all that stuff. My water's over here, or PD light sometimes I'll put in there, Hydro Flask, Gatorade, kind of whatever I'm feeling, but usually just water. I'll go through a couple bottles every round. I got this right here on the side of my bag. Hopefully that's in frame. It's a 40-year PDGA membership that I got from Cheryl Newland a couple weeks ago. I keep it on the bag. I think it's pretty cool to have this. She recently just got into the 50-year member club, so she's like, I don't need this anymore, so gave it to me. So I'm 18 years old with a 40-year membership. Don't know how that math works out, but it's pretty cool. And I think, last little accessory on the bag before I get into the discs is this clock I got right here. It's kind of a little thing I have with my girlfriend back home. One of the first times when I kind of met her, there was a movie that we both loved, and it has to do with kind of clocks with it. Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart is the movie, if you're wondering. And I don't know, I just kind of like that. I keep it on Oregon time always, so it makes me feel a little bit connected back home and to her. So anyway, let's get into the discs. Let's start out with my putting putters. I always keep 3 putting putters in my bag for practice, and I actually do switch these in and out during the tournament rounds. I just I'll putt with them, warm them up, and then be like, this one went in the most, so I'll putt with this one today. But the Stokely Discs Ren specifically in the Strato plastic, and the blue color is my putting putter of choice. I've been using these now for 2 years, I think, and I absolutely love them. They're my favorite putter I've had. Beadless, glidey, semi-overstable. Absolutely have fallen in love with this disc, and it has been my favorite putter I've ever used. And it's kind of helped me win a lot of tournaments and get a lot of high placement finishes. Like this week in Supreme Flight, I made a ton of deep death putts, circle 2 putts, mostly because of this disc. I mean, I feel like a good putter, but if you gave me something from another company, I'm not nearly as confident as I am with the Stokely Discs Ren. The other disc I keep up here is my scramble or approach disc, the Berg, or the Bergi, I think is how you're technically supposed to pronounce it, but it's Berg. I've had this disc now for 5 years. I think I've carried a Berg in my bag for about 6.5 years now, or 6 years, but this one specifically for about 5. Scott Stokely's signature is right here, but it's super faded now. And my signature's right there. That might be the worst signature I've ever done in my life 5+ years ago. Oh my gosh. But it's marked. It's legal. I use this because it's so beat up now. It's kind of a flip up forehand is mostly what I use it for. So anything 240 to 250 and in on an approach, I'm usually reaching for this and hoping to throw it on a turnover line. If I'm in an open field and I have an approach shot, I'm throwing a forehand turnover. Some people go hyzer and try to spike one in or skip it up. I just prefer how the disc lands on a turnover shot. So that's what I love this for. I do throw it backhand occasionally. If I'm not feeling confident with just a touch putter, I'll reach for this and throw it hard and maybe like a flip up line. But this is up here because it comes out of the bag every single round. Sometimes more often than I want to because my drives are really bad. But that's the top putters in Berg. Other putters, throw-in putters now. We got these 4. I believe that's all of them. Yes, these 4. Firstly, the Ren, the contrast plastic Ren, or it's still Strato, but it's contrast. I kind of got that like halo effect to it. I tried putting with these for a little bit, but they're a little bit deeper than the normal ones. However, they are much more glidey, farther flying, and I think they're a little bit more stable as well. So I love them off the tee. Easily one of my favorite throwing putters as well. And yeah, love this disc. Usually throw it for about 300 to 350 shots, mostly dead straight, maybe slight turnovers. Super turnovers is this Rico team stamp back when I was sponsored by Castplast. This was in the bag, and it's kind of beaten in to be a super reliable hyzer flip up to turnover putter. Absolutely love this. One of my most confident discs in my bag for sure. The Owl from Stokely Discs weirdly has become one of my favorite Stokely Disc molds. It's like right up there with the Ren now, which is weird. I actually did not like this plastic, the mesoplastic, immediately. It took me like half a year to actually put this one in the bag. I had the Strato Owl for a while, and it kind of got beat up. It was finally a little bit straighter, and my dad threw this one always. And he kept telling me, you got to put this one in the bag. You got to put this one in the bag. You'll love this. And every time I threw it, I'm like, no, I don't like it. It's too stable for me. Or maybe I don't like the feel of it. But finally, I listened to him, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. It hunts the basket. That's what it's made to do. That's what Stokely made it for. Is the Owl hunts towards the chains, and it sure does. This has been a really reliable approach disc for me, and it will be staying in the bag for sure. One of the newest additions to the bag is a vessel from Thought Space Athletics. I had that Strato Owl, I had a blue Strato Owl that beat in a lot, and it kind of flew exactly like this vessel, but the issue was it had a bunch of kind of dents and bruises and, warped a little bit, and so the feel of it was really weird, especially on a forehand. And then somebody back home, I think it was Ty Rupert, gave me this vessel to try out a little bit. Flew exactly like that Owl, but it felt a lot better because it didn't have the bumps and bruises to it. And it's kind of beaten up to be dead straight now, maybe a slight fade to it, and has been one of the best discs in my bag for the last, I don't know, 2 months. I don't even think I've had it for 2 months. It might have been a month and a half by now. But just kind of bored flat. It's got a little bit of a thumb groove to it, and just straight to hyzer, backhands or forehands like this disc. Okay, that's the putters. On to the mid-ranges, which I have a couple. Not a ton. I don't really like throwing mid-ranges. I think it's my least favorite shape in my hand, and my least favorite distance is kind of the mid-range slot. So I've got 4 mid-ranges, but only 2 molds. I have 2 Pathfinders and 2 Cardinals. So the Pathfinders, also both pretty new additions to my bag. This is a glow one. I don't know the Thought Space Plastics. Yeah, I don't know this one, but 2 different Pathfinders. This one's my understable flip-up mid-range, so kind of flies like that Rico, but just farther flying. So hyzer turnovers, probably 350 to 400 distance. And then this guy is that 350 to 400 distance, but more dead straight. Just kind of throwing it flat, staying on that flat line. I can get it to hold if I want to. I can get it to hyzer if I want to. So pretty workable. This comes out of the bag occasionally. And then 2 Cardinals, both discs that I absolutely adore. The white one is more of a utility disc by now. I don't throw it nearly as much. It's more stable than the pink. So the white, actually, I recently got an ace with this disc in tournament at the Wintertime Open, hole 12 of round 2, when I shot the 1070 round. Just huge spike hyzer, 360 I think it was, or 340. Just wham into the chains. That's kind of the only time I throw this one is if it's a wide open field, 350-ish, and I just want to go huge hyzer. It's the only time this one comes out of the bag. The pink one is a little bit different because it's super beat in. You can kind of see how bruised up the rim is. I went to Lake Havasu last year and threw this on nearly every hole. Just rocks, just beating it up. I think I took it out of the bag for a little bit because it got too beat up. But then I realized it's just a good disc now. It doesn't fly like a normal Cardinal. It just kind of goes dead straight the whole way, but it still has that overstable integrity because it's still a Cardinal. And yeah, this guy has been really reliable for me. So big fan of this Cardinal especially. And that's probably my most confident mid-range in my bag. Let's put these guys back so the bag doesn't look empty. This one went on the side. All right, fairway drivers. I have a decent amount of fairway drivers in my bag. Got 2 more over here. Yeah, that's a good amount of fairways. How many is that? 8 fairway drivers in my bag. A couple molds. We'll go from understable to overstable in this one. Most understable fairway driver in my bag as of right now is an E-Dog from Castoplast. This is one of my stamp discs, not a signature disc, just kind of a, I love the E-Dog for kind of 380 to 420, just dead straight shots that I want to flip up. I'm not a huge fan of just flat board straight shots, so I kind of like to stand this one up and hold it. It's also really good for turnover shots as well. So I do love the E-Dog. This has been in my bag for over a year by now, I think. Maybe not that long, about a year though. Super confident, reliable, and will stay in the bag for a while to come, unless I lose it. Next in stability is this FD3, Color Glow FD3 that Ty Rupert gave me. I used to have another Color Glow FD3 for probably 3 or 4 years that Pedro Tato gave me, and I lost it at Pier Park just in the middle of the fairway when I was playing off Corridor and just completely left it. It was sad. Like favorite disc in my bag, just left it. And Ty had almost a replica of it, gave it to me a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago by now, 4 weeks ago, and I'm finally starting to get used to it. It flies almost identical to the other one, and I've been loving it for what that shot is, which is about 400 to 450, kind of like the E-Dog, but just farther flying. So 400 to 450, dead straight, hyzer flip-ups is what I like. It's funny to say that my FD3 is a hyzer flip-up disc, but it's just this version of the FD3 is understable. But I like it, and I think I'll start to get used to it more and more by the end of the year, and I think I'll be throwing this a lot on the tour with the longer wooded par 3s that there are. The Passion has been one of my favorite discs for a long time coming, just the mold itself. This one I haven't had for too long of a time. I used to have another one that I loved a little bit more that I lost. It's kind of been in and out of the bag for me for 4 years now, probably 3 years. And yeah, I mean, I'm not super confident with this disc when it comes out of the bag, but I know I can throw it well. I use it for kind of straighter shots that I want a fade at the end of it. So just throw it flat, 400, and then have it fade at the very end of the flight. That's kind of what I use it for. And I need to throw a little bit more. I need to practice this disc a little bit more because it's been off recently the last couple of weeks. But I think I'll find it again, and it'll work its way back into the arsenal. These two, other than the Wren, I think this actually might just be my favorite disc in my bag. The Lumen from Lightspeed, which is my newest sponsor as of this year, is just such a good disc. It's an overstable fairway driver. It's a 7-speed. I think the numbers are 7503. I think it's more of like a 7303 is my guess. I don't feel like it glides much. These are perfect for 300 to 350 shots on the backhand, and for like 200 to 300 on the forehand. They're so controllable. I throw this one for forehand and I throw this one for backhand. This is my actually recent Tour Series Lumen. I like this one. It's double stamped, so it looks really pretty. I've had this for over a year now, where I met Jeremy, the owner of Lightspeed. Super nice guy, introduced me to the brand, and it just randomly became like the favorite disc in my bag. I just bought the disc because I was supporting him, and it's a company I'd never heard of, so I like to try that stuff out. It's so good. It's so good. It doesn't have too much of a skip. It doesn't go too far, so it's just like workable. Like in woods, I can anti-flex it through trees. I can place it where I want it to. It stays where I want it to. I know where it's going every time. It's got a really good feel to me. Slight puddle top. I can't really compare it to any other disc because it just flies differently to me. Putters go farther than it, but it has the characteristic of a driver with the anti-flexes and overstability. But yeah, easily one of my favorite discs in my bag, and I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a Lumen. Doesn't have to be my Tour Series. It could be any Lumen, but I think everybody should have a Lumen because it just is that good of a disc. I promise you. This is kind of some would call a Thunderbird more of a distance driver. It's not. It's a 9-speed, so it is a fairway. It's a fairway driver. So this is a far-flying control disc for me. Semi-overstable. So throw it dead flat. It'll kind of stay on that line. Sometimes I can hyzer flip it. I think this is actually a little bit more understable than the Lumens. Actually, definitely it's more understable than the Lumens. But just throw it flat to a bit of hyzer through any woods or open fairway. I pretty much know where this is going. It's a control disc. So if I want to throw it 450 and land in the fairway, this is usually what I reach for. FD3, this is a super overstable, or not super, this is an overstable FD3. This is more so how they usually fly compared to the orange one I have in my bag. Really cool die. I don't remember where I got this, but I like the die a lot. I use it only for forehands, usually skip shots or maybe big spike hyzer forehands on approaches. That's kind of all I use it for. I used to use it for backhands more, but I kind of stopped doing that, and I started throwing the Lumen a little bit more backhand for this slot. But super controllable, workable. I've had the FD3 in my bag for a very long time now. Obviously different FD3s. This is kind of a newer one, but I do love this mold, and it will be staying in my bag for a while, most likely. Side. The most overstable disc in my bag, I believe right now, is the Omen from Foul Space Athletics. I haven't had it for too long. Actually, no, that's not true. I used to bag at Omen 3 or 4 years ago, I had a green one that I loved, and I took it out of my bag because it was too overstable, and I thought I didn't really need it. And then in the last month and a half, I put this one back in. So I'm like, oh, the Omen's a good disc. I should put it back, you know, just as a utility on tour, maybe when there's a strong headwind or I need a skip shot over to the left or to the right on forehand. And it's kind of been just that. You know, I used it a couple times at Supreme Flight when I was in a weird spot, just something I can really hammer on Annie, and I know it's going to come back on backhand or forehand. So yeah, I love having the Omen, and I think it'll stay in the bag. Just a utility disc. Won't come out often, but it's very useful when I need it. Now on to the big boy discs, the distance drivers, which I also have a few of. These are also the ones that usually change the most, either because they get beat in, or I find one that I like more than another one. But I do like distance drivers. So how many do I got here? I got 9. I have 9 drivers in my bag right now. It's likely to change though at some point. We'll go understable and overstable once again. Most understable distance driver in my bag is a Roadrunner. Technically a distance driver. This is just pure roller disc. I have another one of these, my Boss, with this stamp. This is my first ever stamp. Kind of my artwork, my original idea, and then we gave it to a professional artist and made it look a lot better. Tim Skellinger and Disc and Dice actually got me this stamp, got me 100 Innova discs. So there's 100 discs with this stamp, kind of limited. And I love the way all of them came out. This Roadrunner and the Bosses especially. I love the way they felt and the way the halo plastic felt in my hand. And so it's been in my bag for a while. Just pure roller disc is the only way I use this. Actually, it is my lefty disc. When I play lefty rounds, this is kind of what I reach for mostly for hyzer flip shots. But yeah, roller, distance roller, control roller, anything roller, this is kind of what I go for. So will stay in the bag, but it's a utility disc. Next is this factory second destroyer that I have had for a while now. It's kind of became just a primary forehand driver now. It used to be my go-to distance guy or go-to control guy, but since I've gained a little bit more power and it's gotten beaten in, it just isn't that anymore. It's too understable. But I have a weak enough forehand that it's perfect for distance shots where I can kind of do maybe a slight hyzer flip or anti-flex with it. But I still love this disc. Threw it on a hole 1 at Supreme Flight, all 3 rounds, and on a couple other forehand shots. So I've lost it a couple times and it's come back to me somehow, some way. Occasionally I'll throw it on huge turnover shots up and over trees on the backhand, but pretty much it's just my go-to forehand disc. Up next, the Peregrine from Stokely Discs. This is the only distance driver that Stokely has out right now. Initially, to me, it felt a little bit weird in the thermoplastic. It just didn't feel like it would be a solid driver to me. Like it felt kind of baseline and maybe it'd be way too understable and I just wouldn't like it. But then I threw it a couple times and it's got stability, weirdly. It surprised me a lot that it had so much stability to it. This one is beat in now. I actually think I'm gonna have to replace this for a new one. I've had it for probably half a year by now, about that time. And I've loved it for forehands or control backhand shots. It's a little bit more overstable than my destroyer, so instead of like a hyzer flip with the green destroyer, I could throw this one flat to Annie, but about the same distance on the forehand, and that's mostly what I've used it for. It's kind of been a utility disc, definitely not one I reach for all the time, but it is a lot better than I initially thought it would be. I'm always completely honest with the Stokely Discs. This one I definitely thought was going to be a bust, and it's made the bag and it stayed in my bag. I haven't taken it out yet and I haven't really found a reason to. But I do think I need to get a new one because this one's starting to turn a little bit, which I don't like. Then we go into a couple destroyers. I think I have 4 destroyers in my bag. This is a Calvin Heimberg Halo destroyer. This is my big distance guy, pretty much. Big distance and controllable. So if I'm in an open field, but I can't do like maybe a huge hyzer or huge anti-flex, and I just need to keep something on a straighter line, this is what I reach for. For a slight hyzer flip, holding the line into the fairway, Probably 450 to 550 is where I throw this disc to. I've had this run of Halo Destroyer in my bag now for multiple years, and it's always been in use. I love this disc, yeah. This will stay in my bag for time to come, for sure. Another Halo Destroyer I've had for a year. This one was given me by Anthony Hammerschmidt. It's a triple stamp Owens-Scoggins Destroyer. I took it out of my bag half a year ago or something, maybe not that long ago, 4 months ago, for no reason. I actually have no idea why I took this out of my bag. And then I put it back in the day before Supreme Flight Open. I'm like, why did I ever take this out? I threw it a couple times at Olympus. I'm like, this is the perfect disc. I've needed this for so long. It's just amazing for dead straight shots that have a fade and a skip at the end. So my blue Halo Destroyer is a hyzer flip that turns a little bit. This one is board flat. Well, it's bubbly, but like I throw it flat. Throw it board flat. It stays flat. Maybe a slight bit of turn, and then it fades and skips at the end. So super controllable. Great for these. Great for Olympus, where it's kind of those straighter shots that fade at the end, and you need to throw a distance drive or distance. So, love this one. Last Destroyer in my bag is this guy. I haven't thrown it much actually. I put it in at the same time as this disc, the day before Supreme Flight. I didn't throw it at Supreme Flight though, so I actually don't know if this has made the bag yet, but it feels like a slightly more overstable, controllable destroyer, and I think that's something that I'm going to need in the future. So this will get more reps, but as of right now, it's my second least confident disc in my bag. My least confident yet to come, it's the last one, but yeah, this is the last destroyer. May or may not make the final bag. The Boss, this is the other one, along with the Roadrunner, that had my stamp given to me by Tim Skellinger and Disc and Dice, which thank you again for that. These really nice. I have another one in the RV in case I lose this, because I do love this Boss so much. This guy is if I have a wide open field, let's say par 4 or par 5, and I can just throw as hard as I can. This is what I go for. Huge anti-flexes, huge hyzer over trees, bombs, big stall shots. Anything that requires like 100% power throw, this is what I'm using. So that's pretty much all it's used for. Or maybe big skip shots. But anything I use this for, it's going to be a power throw. My last two discs in my bag are both PD2s. I actually lost my overstable PD2 this last Wednesday. So this is my replacement. Still got the sticker on it. I don't think I've thrown it a single time actually yet. But I bought it as the replacement disc for my other PD2, so it should fly exactly like it. Just super overstable. Put it on Annie, kind of like my Omen. Flex it out. Huge skips to either side, forehand or backhand. Just big utility disc, headwind, or if I need to get it around a corner. And then this gravity bomb I've had for a bit. I put the gravity bomb in because of Justin Anderson back home. He keeps throwing them, and I'm like, I gotta try that out at some point. Put it in, and I love this disc, for forehands especially. I've never been one to be forehanding overstable drivers because I've always had this green destroyer and I've just used it for everything. And I realized that was kind of stupid. I can just throw something overstable, put it on Annie, or put it flat, and it's just gonna go to the right no matter what. There's no like adjustment that I have to make, or like angle control, like the hyzer flip and turn. Just throw it on Annie, it's gonna work right. Like there's no way it doesn't. So this has been great for the 300 to 360 forehands, where I can just hammer something down a hill, into headwind, into woods, whatever the case may be. Forehands, skip shots, love this disc. And I've been throwing a lot more recently with the longer forehand shots on tour and the A tiers that I'm playing. I throw it occasionally backhand. I did more earlier when it wasn't as beat in and it had a little bit more bite to it. But now it's just kind of primary forehand driver disc, overstable. And the last part, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. The last part I want to talk about is my Mojo riser. I'm sponsored by Mojo, and the riser is such a good product. I have a couple with me in the RV. just outstanding. I met them. I've known the guys for a while actually, but they gave me a riser 2 years ago after a really swampy tournament at Sandy Am. My back was all muddy from, you know, the mud accumulated on the backpack, and they're like, "You need a riser." And so I put it on, you know, the next week, and since then I've always kept it on. It's amazing. It's been standing here this whole time, so especially back in Oregon when it's raining and there's mud all over the place, mud, dirt, sand, whatever it is, the bag does not get dirty. And it's been really helpful. My dad loves his as well, and he especially loves it for caddying too. It just kind of relieves, you know, back strain. You don't have to bend down as much to pick it up. It's not as much weight on you, as in like shorter distance to pick up. But super easy to use, super easy to attach. It's a bit pricey. It's about $125 to $150, I believe, but it's a one-time purchase. You can switch it over to bags, you can get it fixed, whatever. I think it's a great product, and I will definitely be having it on my bag, hopefully for the rest of my career. I think it's a great item. And with that, that is the end of my in the bag. I don't know how long that video was, but I kind of rambled on a bit. I think that's good. I love my bag. I love the Pound, the Mojo, all the discs in my bag, and it'll shift as the year goes on. I'll probably make another one of these towards the end of the year. And from what I've heard from other people, I think Colton Montgomery and Cole Dolan and some other people have told me like my discs are gonna get a lot more stable. Like I'm gonna replace my Heiser Flip stuff for overstable discs at some point. And yeah, there's a chance that like half of these are gonna be gone by the end of the year. But hopefully not. Hopefully my game right now works for the tour courses. But yeah, that is Dallas Garber's in the bag. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button and follow along on YouTube and Instagram and PDGA and DGPT. Hopefully I win a tournament or something. Maybe not win a tournament, but do really good. Maybe win Rookie of the Year. Anyway, yes, that is all. Thank you. All right.